Superman Spider-Man #1 is absolutely phenomenal. What is up, guys? I'm the Blaze Deity, and I know it's been a while, maybe over a year since our last comic book review video, but I cannot wait to give you this one. And Acolytes, I have a question. When you take comic book's symbol of hope and cross him over with comic book's most relatable hero, what do you get? I'll tell you, you get nothing short of masterful storytelling. And this story starts off with Otto Octavius, also known as Dr. Octopus. And he's currently questioning an AI called Discern about who and what scientific minds can be attributed to what studies and what achievements. And as he asks these questions, they're answered exactly how you would expect. Otto Octavius is nowhere in the record books, nowhere in the accolades, and even so far as to say Bruce Banner, the Incredible Hulk, is actually attributed as one of the greatest minds. And Otto gets frustrated and ends up breaking the AI, talking about so much for artificial intelligence, when he is interrupted by a voice that promises him the recognition, the accolades, the eyes on him that he deserves, as long as he offers his own assistance. And this voice stems from none other than Brainiac. We pan over to Metropolis at a laboratory where Clark Kent and Peter Parker are showing their access slash journal IDs to allow them entry into their current location, which I said is like a lab of sorts to investigate a crime scene and to get photos and information about a break-in where Dr. Clyburn explains the situation. And as Peter is taking pictures of the entry point, Clark inquires our Dr. Clyburn to tell him the info that she's holding close to the chest and away from the press. She reveals that the project that they were working on is stolen equipment that experiments in fast neutrons. And on hearing this, Peter, aka Spider-Man, chimes in, the nerd that we love so much, and explains how fast neutrons uses radiation to transfer data more efficiently and more effectively than Wi-Fi, and it really has no blocking. It's like it's like having ultimate Wi-Fi as a sense. They can transfer data without anything interfering. But Dr. Clyburn reveals that instead of Californium or the traditional methods of following through with this experiment, like all the other scientists are using, they are using kryptonite radiation instead, which causes Superman to be immediately anxious. They rush out the building, and Superman's like, we got to find this kryptonite. We have to make sure this doesn't fall into the wrong hands. And immediately switches into his Superman persona, where Peter Parker is trying to keep up, and also switch into his Spider-Man gear, saying, wait, hold on 1 second. You're not going to do this alone. And Superman's rushing him, and he makes a joke, which I find absolutely hilarious. He goes, I'm sure you never rush Batman like this. And we know Batman, we know how that goes with the world's finest. Batman sets the pace for most of this. So the fact that Spider-Man knows that, it is hilarious when it comes to him and Superman teaming up. And we're going to see a whole lot of Spider-Man quips throughout this comic. So we find out that Brainiac is using Dr. Octavius to help him build a machine to help him get rid of a virus that he was fooled into downloading, a debilitating mind virus. So we can tell right off the bat that he will not be operating at maximum efficiency. But he is telling the truth. If he helps him, who better than to give him, acclaim than Brainiac? Somebody would say 12th level intellect. Who better than to put his name in the greatest minds of all time, or give him the accolades he deserves than one of the smartest fictional characters ever? But he has convinced Otto to help him build this machine. And what it's meant to do, it is meant to actually download or offload the virus that he is dealing with onto the minds of humans, thus um, restoring Brainiac, but also allowing Otto to get the revenge that he so desperately desires against people who do not recognize him. And they're going to use the fast neutrons and the kryptonite radiation as a means to dump them like a file. I guess the best way to explain this is if your computer caught a virus or you downloaded something on your computer, and the only way for your computer to start working again is by putting it in the recycling bin and then deleting it, or putting it on an external hard drive or an external flash card and getting rid of it completely. And that's what they're going to be using the fast neutrons with the kryptonite radiation to do. And of course, because they're using kryptonite radiation, this is going to affect Superman. And actually, as soon as they turn on this machine, Superman senses the kryptonite and almost falls out of the sky, where he's saved by Spider-Man, who makes a quick comment about Superman's relationship with gravity. Like, I thought you guys had like some sort of agreement. Spider-Man's jokes are on point in this comic book. And then Superman explains that his weakness, and that he's being drained by the kryptonite, which causes them to both discern that the kryptonite waves are coming from the fast neutrons, and that now Metropolis is going to be enveloped in this ongoing kryptonite radiation. But while Spider-Man is attempting to figure out why he or Superman may be the target, they notice a runaway truck. It's crashing into a bunch of cars and right on its way to run over some citizens. So Superman and Spider-Man spring into action. Superman saying, "I'll stop the truck," and Spider-Man saying that he will get the citizens, and that's exactly what they do. And after assessing the situation, they start to realize that the citizens are rambling off some numeric code. And they're starting to realize there's some sort of code dumping that is occurring through means of the fast neutron waves and the kryptonite radiation that now everybody is picking up on. And these are so powerful and so influential that even Superman and Spider-Man start to feel affected by this. So much so that Superman has to snap Spider-Man out of it and say, "Hey, we have to focus. People's lives are in danger. This is happening all over Metropolis, right? And we have to stop them." So they get on the same page and they go around, they start saving the citizens of Metropolis as Superman weakens and weakens. And Superman actually weakens to a point in this comic book where he's vulnerable to an apartment fire. So much so that Spider-Man's like, "I will go in myself, I will save the citizens," and Superman, being Superman, is like, "No, if you're going in, I'm definitely going in, but I would like some assistance." So Spider-Man wraps him in his webbing, which is fire retardant. It's not fireproof, but it has a high burning point. It takes a whole lot to burn Spider-Man's web. So it's like a secondary, means of protection for Superman as he's experiencing this weakness from kryptonite. After Superman and Peter finally, piece together who Otto's partner is, Superman's like, "You need to go stop Dr. Octopus. I figured out who his partner is, and I'm going to fly up and I'm going to stop him." And we end up finding out that Superman has discerned that, yes, Brainiac, due to the way all this data is being dropped off, is Otto's accomplice. And because of that, flies out into orbit to confront Brainiac. But it seems like the two of them waltzed right into a trap, because here we have Dr. Octopus on Brainiac's ship awaiting Superman, and Spider-Man being met by Brainiac. Now, normally we would look at this and say, there is no way Spider-Man would beat Brainiac. There is no way that Dr. Octopus would put up a fight against Superman. But as you can see, Dr. Octopus is ready. He has kryptonite-infused tendrils, and Superman is already being weakened by the ongoing kryptonite poisoning or radio waves that or fast neutron waves he's experiencing. My bad. And this is Spider-Man's first time meeting Brainiac. Um, and they all start tussling. And of course, you would have believed that, if Brainiac were working at max efficiency or if Superman was working at max efficiency, it would be an easy wash for both of them. But due to Spider-Man's quips, due to his fast improvisation, due to his reflexes, it starts to frustrate Brainiac. Brainiac's even trying to decipher where Spider-Man's going to go using math, and because of his spider sense, he's able to improv on the fly and dodge. And he's like, "Your reflexes are crazy." And Spider-Man's, "Yeah, spider sense beats math, haha." And I love that. I love how, even though Brainiac is like a 12th level intellect, he's such a good strategist. Spider-Man can still find a way to get under his skin, and that is the brilliance of Spider-Man. If he's not going to beat you straight up, he's going to throw you off your game, and that shows even Brainiac, even if he's not working at maximum capacity, can be thrown off by Spider-Man. But on the other hand, we have Otto fighting Superman, actually expressing himself like, "Why should I save these people? Or why should I help, the people of Metropolis or the people of the world to begin with? They don't even recognize me. They don't recognize me for my brilliance. They don't recognize me for my intelligence." Where Superman actually corrects him. He's like, "No, you're great. You're amazing." Even Clark Kent, wrote a journal or journalized about you years ago before your incident. He said you were brilliant. He called you, a second Einstein of sorts. And that sentiment or that little bit of recognition actually touched Otto, allowing a brief moment for Superman to then knock him out. So you would think that the day is saved, but Brainiac and a lot of villains are sore losers. So instead of fighting Spider-Man directly, he calculates how much pressure or the durability of the building that they're in and brings it down on top of Peter and transfers his consciousness out of the building, redirecting his spaceship in orbit to lock on and fall onto Metropolis. Superman flies out of the ship and tries his best, even though he's being poisoned by kryptonite, to hold it up, and radios to Spider-Man saying, "Hey, I'm not strong enough to hold this up. I need you to turn off the machine," because Brainiac decided he wanted to crash his ship into Metropolis. But Spider-Man says, "Hey, yeah, I'm kind of buried right now." And Superman's like, "No, Peter, you have to unbury yourself. You have to do this. I believe in you." He starts hyping Spider-Man up. "I believe in you. You can do this." And Spider-Man believes in himself. This isn't the first time I've been buried. And starts pushing and pushing and finally excavates himself from the building and turns off this machine. Now, I'm not doing it justice, but when you read it on the panel, you can feel not only the desperation of the panel and in the characters, you can see where Superman births this unfathomable amount of hope and resilience in Peter Parker. And if this were animated, this would be a powerful scene. It already is powerful, hand drawn, but as an animated scene, this would be phenomenal. Superman giving Spider-Man a prep talk saying, "I believe in you." A pep talk saying that you got this, you can do this. And Spider-Man pushing to lift that building off of him and shutting off the power, allowing Superman to no longer be inhibited or impaired by the kryptonite poisoning, allowing him the strength to hold up the ship. Spider-Man radios back in, "Are we good? No boom?" And Superman replies, "Yeah, no boom." Thus, they saved the day. What an amazing panel. What an amazing end to how that went. And I love how when Peter Parker and Clark Kent go to Mr. White of the Daily Planet to drop off the information for the story and for Peter to sell his pictures, Superman asked him, he said, "You've been working for J. Jonah Jameson who talks crap and spreads lies about Spider-Man for so long, selling him pictures of Spider-Man, knowing that he uses them for duplicitous means, knowing that he spreads lies and misinformation about Spider-Man. Why do you do it? And Spider-Man reveals to Clark, well, the first reason I do it is because it's only hurting me. It doesn't hurt anybody else. It only directly affects me. It's not going to stop him from saving people. It's not going to stop him from doing the right thing. Um, and then second, it's kind of karma because he's actually paying Peter Parker, who is Spider-Man, with the photos that he's giving him, which is actually paying Peter's way through college. And Superman goes, touche. And he's like, well, do you need a lift home? Right? And he's like, yeah, why not? No problem. So before they fly off, he's like, hey, don't go so fast. Like, give me the tour. Give me the Metropolis tour. Let's spend a little bit of time together. And that's what they go off and do. I loved this issue. I loved this crossover so much, not simply because of the fact that it's Superman, Spider-Man. They mesh together so well. You have Superman in the mentor role almost, the established, larger than life hero. Spider-Man, the relatable, kind of like a fan of a fan, because I love it. And his quips are amazing, perfectly timed, perfectly suited, everything. I love it. The pep talk that Superman gives Spider-Man in that moment where the ship is falling and Peter is buried, that invigorates him and motivates him to excavate himself and turn that machine off. I got chills reading it. Guys, if you liked this issue, if you guys like the crossover between Spider-Man and Superman, this is only part one. This is a comic series with a lot of different stories in them, and this is just the first one. I wanted to cover it for you guys, because it's been a while since we've done a video, and I wanted you guys to experience it with me. Please, oh please, oh please, if you guys live near a comic store, invest in this chapter or invest in this book. Like I said, it is a comic book with many different Spider-Man, Superman crossover stories in it. And if you liked this one, maybe we can review another one. I give this one a 10 out of 10. And I might be biased because I'm a fan of both characters, but let's be honest. This was almost a perfect story, if not a perfect story. 10 out of 10 for me. Guys, you know the deal. Like, comment, subscribe, be critics. Tell them how to make the channel, the videos better for you acolytes, and the rest of the viewers are going to say the planet. Can't do that yet. We're not Spider-Man or Superman. But I wish I could save you. We are going to get you guys with another video really soon.